And now, set your watches and your clocks. Look at it. It's now a minute after the hour of 8 o'clock on this wet Wednesday, the 4th day of the month of November. We're inside of an hour now, brought to you courtesy of Law Insurance Brokers. One call for all insurance. You can call them today and let them know that I told you to call on this number, 876-968-1100. Thanks, Law Insurance Brokers, for sponsoring the hour between 8 and 9 this morning here on The Edge. It's now time for Real Estate Today, and that is brought to you courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited. They're located, by now you should know, but if you don't, they're up there at unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall in Kingston 6. And they'll accommodate you like they have myself on several occasions in a really nice office setting. That's where they are. This morning we'll be joined by Howard Johnson Jr. himself, who will be talking to us about the topic and expanding on it, the topic of expanding your home for a growing family. Many of us have had to do that, and many of us will have to do that at some point in our lives. You see, your family can grow in many different ways, whether it is a new baby, your elderly parents moving in, or simply giving the kids their separate rooms. No matter the reason for the expansion, you must consider all the necessary changes that your home will need. And once again, remind your guest to discuss this topic, expanding your home for a growing family. We're joined at this time by Howard Johnson Jr. of Howard Johnson Realty Limited. Good morning, Howard. How are you, sir?
Good morning, President. Good. How are you?
President.
Sorry, Richard.
Yeah, that is more like it. And you know, the unfortunate thing is I can't even tell you who is the president.
I'm telling you.
We have a problem.
Well, when the day is over in 73 hours, we'll be able to tell.
We will. At the rate it's going, it could be a much longer day than one with 73 hours, man. I tell you.
Yes.
Anyhow, we're happy to have you on the program once again, and we want to start right off with this question, Howard. What are some of the most common types of home expansions that there are?
Well, you would consider expanding your kitchen for a little bit more space and a little bit more room and functionality. Your bedroom, you would add probably a family room. Just quite a few things, but one of the most popular ones is, as they would call it, going upstairs. Going upstairs, put an extra room upstairs, and we see that across the country, where persons, when they're expanding, one of the typical things that they tend to do is to find room upstairs, so that they can, stretch the building out a little bit more and accommodate their families as best as possible.
And so you go into these, even some of these schemes that they build, which are small 2-bedroom facilities, and 6 months down the line, you see some almost like skyscrapers. People are going up because they don't have the space to expand laterally, eh?
Correct, because the homes are built almost like row homes, very close to each other, so the only room for expansion. Sometimes you have a little to the back, but most times they're going up. But again, some of these expansions in gated communities would require permission, because there may be strict rules about going up, and a lot of persons make the assumption that when they buy into these communities, yes, immediately I can just put on a slab roof and put on 2 more bedrooms upstairs, but then you have to understand the rules and regulations for that community to abide by it.
So do you suggest then that if one is contemplating expanding, that they should consult the local authorities?
Well, that is a must. You have to consult the authorities for approval to do your expansion, because you don't want to just do it blindly. We have to conform to the building codes and to the town and country planning documentations that exist. So you want to make sure that when you're expanding, you're not going to be in breach of the law. You're going to put in the required facilities such as sewage, adequate water, run your lines properly. You're not blocking your neighbors if that goes against the rules and regulations for the complex. You're not in breach, because if you do build in breach, then you will have a warm or difficult time in disposing of your property when that time comes, if it does come.
Would you say then that, well, in fact, I want to ask you, how can homeowners sort of ensure that the expected addition is cohesive with the original structure that was there?
That's a key step, because you have to ensure that your original structure can, in fact, take something else on top. And for that, you most definitely will need to you will require the professionals, structural engineer, to come and ensure that your walls are of the particular strength to take the construction above. You want to ensure that your beams and your columns are in place to withstand the weight. Because one thing you don't want to do is to have a beautiful expansion and then the first heavy winds, if this hurricane turns back and blows too hard on us from a different direction, you're now wobbling and you eventually topple. You could put your family in danger. So it's not just about expanding or building on the structure because you see the available space, but it is more in line of making sure that the structure can in fact take that accommodation.
And these professionals are also able to assist in association with, I suspect, the architects to determine whether or not one expands upwards or outwards.
Correct. And as Camille, our guest last week when we did part one, mentioned, yes, they will be able to tell you whether or not the structure can take it, but your architect will also be a little bit more hands-on with you to ensure that you get the best use of your property. You expand in the most effective and efficient way. They will look at your lighting, your positioning, the sun, the wind, all of these things they will take into consideration when making a proposal to you. So it is in fact very important to test your structure and to consult with an architect to ensure that you are getting the best thing that you want. We sometimes have a lot of good ideas, but it may not be the best thing for us, and therefore you need to get that professional guidance.
Some people, Howard, will say they find it difficult to visualize the space before they start the construction process. But is that something that you recommend that persons try to do?
Always. And there are so many tools around us that can assist with that and facilitate that. And you hear many times person talk about vision board. It's just as simple as downloading probably an app called Pinterest. It's free. Or visiting Houzz, Houzz. That's another app that you can use. Or a lot of persons are familiar with watching HGTV. But those tools are what you can use to visualize your space. It gives you an idea as to what are some of the current trends, the color schemes, best use of particular spaces. And you can save some of these things and see whether or not between your structural engineer and your architect, they will agree with your vision board, as it were, using these apps. And if so, no, you're now building towards something that you can see the end result. You don't want to commence the journey and then, along the way, you're saying, no, but I want that there. Oh, I want this there. Can you put the window over that side? It can be more costly, and your construction can appear to be very tacky at the end of the day if you're not consistent with how you're rolling out. So always have that visual in front of you and work towards your goals with the professionals.
We're looking at expanding your home for a growing family, and that obviously will also add a lot of value to the property. Howie?
Yes, and especially if you're doing it within the context of the law and you're not over-improving on your property within a particular community. You don't want to overdo it. You just want to be consistent because you want to make sure that if in the future you're going to dispose of the property, you can get maximum returns on your investment and not be short because you overspend and can't get it back from the market in a sale.
Absolutely. We have what is called the tip of the day, and I'll hand you back to Howard now for that moment in time. The tip of the day.
Yes, Ricky, thank you. If you are planning to extend your kitchen, you must first confirm the position of your appliances and equipment. This gives you a clear idea of what the finished product will look like and the flow of your kitchen space.
That's a very, very important tip from where I sit. Now, listen for the sound and then prepare to tell us the deal on the edge after this. If you want a deal in real estate, this is where you find it every Wednesday morning. Howard, let's have the deal on the edge.
Yes, this beautiful 2-bedroom, 1.5-bathroom townhouse in Caribbean Estate is well suited for a family or single professional. This home features downstairs open floor plan of living space that you can arrange to your liking. The bedrooms are spacious with ample storage space, and there's a backyard where you can relax and unwind after a busy day or election. The property is located in close proximity to all your desired amenities, yet away from the hustle and bustle. Some of the other amenities include a play area for the kitchen, tennis court, jogging trail, and a multi-purpose center. We're asking 85,000 Jamaican dollars per month for this property, and you may call Narda Sterling at 876-419-6249. That's Narda, Narda, Sterling, 419-6249, or send her an email at narda@hjrealtors.com. Caribbean Estate, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 85,000 per month.
Thank you for that, and good luck with it, Narda. Howie, all that's left for us now is to thank you and ask you to give us the contacts where people can find you and your company.
Okay, well, firstly, they can visit us on our website, hjrealtors.com. You can call our offices at 876-620-1457. Visit us at Unit 15, Ligony Post Mall. That's 115 Hope Road, Kingston 6. Or you can see us on social media using our handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, using the handle @Realtors. And we'll be more than happy to serve the public and all your listeners.
It's been great talking with you, Howie, and just let me hasten to remind you that as of this morning, the presidential race has not yet been decided.
Thank you for that. Right. I thought something changed in that last sentence.
No.
Thank you for the update.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Catch you again next week, Wednesday, for more on Real Estate Today. This, of course, is Top of the Morning, and you're inside of an hour, brought to you courtesy of Law Insurance Brokers. Did I do the outro? Well, just let me remind you that Real Estate Today was brought to you courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited, Unit number 15, Ligony Post Mall in Kingston 6. And now,